surprised, but it still hits really hard. I'm from Texas, and in Texas they plan to criminalize abortion, which means up to life sentences for abortion providers. And I'm just very afraid for the world that we've just stepped into, that it's no longer a matter of can somebody get sued for you having an abortion, it's now can somebody go to prison for life.
I think it's going to impact not just women. I mean, certainly women are directly impacted by this decision, but I think that the most troubling aspect is that this is just the beginning.
I knew it was coming. What we need to do as women, organize, don't organize, organize. We are the majority. We just need to come out.
This decision must not stand!
This decision must not stand!
Legal abortion on demand!
My response simply is that all we want is our right to choose. If you want to have a child, go ahead and have a child. If you want to leave your child at the doorstep, go ahead and leave your child at the doorstep. But for us, we can't live with that.
Guys, truth be told, I never thought that this would happen in my particular lifetime, but it has. Roe v. Wade has been overturned at a federal level. Let's get down into the article and talk about the implications. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision on Friday, overturned Roe v. Wade, the landmark ruling that established the constitutional right to, we're going to say A for the rest of this video. Why? Because YouTube be tripping. In the U.S. in 1973. The court's controversial but expected ruling gives individual states the power to set their own A laws without the concern of running afoul of Roe, which had permitted A's during the first 2 trimesters of pregnancy. Almost half the states are expected to outlaw or severely restrict A. As a result of the Supreme Court's decision, the laws will affect tens of millions of people around the country who may have to cross state lines to seek reproductive health care. Now, I think it's important to talk through this so I can give you guys the information to understand how to frame what this means for yourself and for modern women today going into the future. But do understand that this will send shockwaves, not only because of what it is that they're limiting, but also fundamentally, this is about limiting the woman's right to choose. Because remember, men don't have the right to choose at all after the point of conception. And I understand the arguments that it is within their body. So for me to not understand that, I'd be short-sighted. But I have a friend in my life whose girlfriend got pregnant, and before she even told him, she went and handled the deed. And she did that because he's a religious guy and wouldn't have wanted that to happen. And the reason why I bring it up is because many of the talking points that come from feminists talk about equality. Well, where is the equality in that? There is none, which is why most of the talking points are bullshit. But I digress. Modern women today will wild out because of this decision. But why is that? Well, it's because Roe v. Wade allowed modern women to be irresponsible with their bodies. And truth be told, it allowed men to be irresponsible as well. Go raw daddy now and worry about it later. But here's the thing, irrespective of the right to choose, I would agree with all of the hoopla that's getting ready to come down if there was not almost damn near 30 forms of contraception that women can use. I mean, shit, they got the pill this, they got the clamp shit in the back of the vagina that, they got the insertion of the shit into the arm this. So really, when one has all of those options, all you need to be is responsible, and it significantly lowers the opportunity for things to happen that you never wanted to happen before. At this particular portion of the argument, I usually hear people say some things like, oh, but what about those that are, sexually assaulted? I agree with you. That's messed up. But also, too, that is a far outlier. And we can't make decisions for the lot of everybody off of an outlier. But it seems damn near impossible to have these particular talking points because those particular talking points hold modern women accountable. But here's my prediction of what I think is actually going to happen. Now, mind you, they predict only half of the states will work towards banning the A. So I think that the most economically viable women will still be traveling to different states in order to have the procedure done. So really, this is going to affect the lower middle income classes down to those that are in poverty, thereby continuing to separate the distance between the rich and the poor. Because I talk about all day the significant financial impact that bringing in a child into the world before you are ready for it can have on a family. But yeah, those that are not economically stable will be the most impacted by this, simply because they will not be able to travel to different states in order to have the procedure done. So it's almost as if it's more incumbent on them to understand the importance of protecting themselves. To the modern women, this Roe v. Wade decision should be a lesson in that your behavior should be predicated off of looking long-term and not buying into the social acceptance of just what feels good in the short term or what feels good right now. And marry before you carry. To modern men, this should also be a lesson to wrap it up. You cannot afford to shoot up the club and then be able to use the A as a safety net. If you end up on child support from someone that you never found marriageable to begin with, then that is on you, my friend. So yeah, so the decision is now final, but the story is still developing. I think it'd be really interesting to see kind of what's going to happen from a political perspective, what states are going to be choosing what. I mean, obviously, the red states are going to be choosing to ban it and the blue states will not. But I also predict there's going to be a ton of marches, a ton of backlash, and a ton of women angry because they're losing the right to choose. They're being held accountable. And now they have to operate within boundaries when it comes to their sexuality. This one is a landmark. So this is my video right now. I may have an update later on in the future, but I thought I'd just drop you guys my quick thoughts as you make it through your day. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Leave it down in the comment box down below. And let's make this one for fruitful conversation. All right. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.